Oh, the voice was fucked up. Say Shalom 1 2 1 2. Let me see.
Shalom 1 2 1 2 1 2. Shalom 1 2 1 2.
Okay, you got the thing open?
Yeah.
Play on your phone, see if it's squeaky up.
Yeah, 1 2 3 1 1. Let me check. 1 2 3 1 1. Yeah, 1 2 3 1 1.
Squeaky?
Yeah, it's squeaky.
Still.
It can work.
Shout back over there. Nah, she was not device, just speech that show and by doing that shit.
You still up?
Yeah, I switched it and try again.
1 sec. Give me a 1. Yeah.
Alright, try again.
1 2 3. We're just testing the sound. 1 2 3. We're doing the sound check. 1 2 3. 1 2 3. Just speak at the different.
Can't that's what your voice was like anyway.
Just me.
That's the power, isn't it?
Give me a 1 if you can hear us. If you can hear us, just give me a 1. We're trying to test the sound. Give me a 1 if you can hear us.
Go back on your thing, go back on your phone. Put it back to where you said that. Somebody can hear us.
Give us a 1 if you can hear us. Give us a 1 if you can hear us.
Yeah.
All right.
That's speaking as well. Alright, try again.
1 2 3. Sound check. One, two, three. Sound check. All right, this is the I.S.U.P.K Wednesday law class. Also remember to check out Commanding General YAHANNA's radio show, which is Monday, 2 a.m. UK time. Also remember to check out the classes in the States, which go from midnight till 2. And then we have classes here in the UK, 7 p.m. till 9. So log into those classes, because obviously we got classes all week, man. And we got the radio show, 9 p.m. on Friday, Sabbath service Saturday. So we got a busy schedule, things going on all week. Also remember, we got the Feast of First Fruits, the 21st of June at 7 p.m. man. Be on time to that, 7 p.m., 21st of June, the Lord's Feast Day, where we're going to come together, man, and we're going to gather. And today we're going to go into the Bible, man. We're going to be going over are these the reason why we have so many community events and why none of them work, man. We've been to what? There's been millions of them, man, and none of them work. You might think the one you got your fro's gonna work. Honestly, I can tell you from now, it ain't gonna work, man. Why? Because your foundation ain't right from the get-go. The foundation ain't right from the get-go, man. people go there and think, okay, this meeting's going to change. It's going to undo all the brainwashing that black people's received in the last 400 to 500 years. They think they're going to go there without the proper tools, man. They think they're going to go there fresh off the street and just say 2 words and then it's going to change the ghetto. It doesn't work like that, man. We have the answers in here how to change the ghetto. But when we give you the answers, people don't want them. When we give you the reasoning and what people are supposed to do, nobody wants to listen, man. When we give you the structure, nobody wants to listen. So we're going to show you, we're going to start off in the book of Exodus chapter 18 and verse 17, man. So we're going to show you how, first of all, before you do all these marches, you need to do what? Come together in order, man. Like the thing is this, you meet someone who seems like-minded to you, and then you think, oh, yeah, we're going to set up this organization and it's going to stop black youths committing crimes, it's going to stop black people killing each other. And the thing is, you and that person don't even fully agree, man. You both want to do different things. Straight away, it's not going to work, man. You ain't even on one accord. First step would be to all be on one accord, man.
That's right.
That would be the first step. You all be on one accord. You all agree in one. You all have some morals. The thing is this, all these people talking about, oh, the youth need to come together and the youth clubs, they ain't even examining themselves, man. That's the first step. Examine yourself. Are you even doing the right thing? First of all, if you're getting high, you're the problem with the ghetto, man.
That's right.
You're blaming it on the children, all the children shooting up the ghetto, this and that. The children selling drugs outside my house. Listen, man, you're smoking drugs, man.
That's right.
Like, if you stop smoking drugs, these children won't have no one to sell drugs to. But you're smoking drugs, smoking cannabis, and all of these things. You ain't fit to lead nobody, man. And this is why we've been having these community meetings for years on top of years on top of years. Because once you give people the truth, nobody wants to hear it, man. So you're going to keep having these community meetings every 6 months, and you're still going to be in the same place that you was 6 months ago. So we're going to read Exodus chapter 18 and verse 17.
18, 17. Exodus 18, 17.
So we're going to go in the book of Exodus 18 and verse 17. Now, Moses, his father-in-law gave him a good, what's it called? Gave him a good example. Why don't you do this? And Moses like, you know what? All right, that sounds right, man. Let's do it like that. So now we're going to read what he told Moses, man, in Exodus chapter 18 and verse 17.
And Moses, his father-in-law, said unto him, the thing that thou doest is not good.
Meaning, he said to Moses, it's not good. Why? Because Moses was one man trying to do everything. And this is what happens with some of these self-proclaimed scholars, some of these self-proclaimed activists, some of these one man, I've got the plan people. This one man, I've got the plan. I'm going to do it all on my own. Listen, man, what you're doing is not good, man, because it ain't going to work. And guess what happens? The proof it ain't going to work is, after a while, you start to get frustrated, man. You get so frustrated that you start to hate black people, man.
That's right.
You get so frustrated that the very people that you set out to try and save, you then start to hate them. Why? Because you're taking up too much and you don't know what you're doing, man. You're trying to do this one-man thing by yourself. You're trying to be the voice. It don't work like that, man. Read on. Let's see what Moses and them did.
Thou will surely wear away.
Thou will what?
Will surely wear away.
And people that, think they can do this thing on their own, they wear away, man, and start hating black people. And this is why all these organizations, first to start with good intentions, and then in the end, they get sick of black people and they start to rob all the funding money, man. Look at your Black Lives Matter people, man. They start to rob all the money, man. Because after a while, they get sick of black people because they wear away and they can't deal with the pressure because their foundation's been wrong from the beginning, man. Read on.
Both thou and this people that is with thee, for this thing is too heavy for thee.
Listen, man. For some of you, man, the work you're trying to do is too heavy for you, man. and you're not doing it right anyway. There's a reason why it's too heavy for you, because you're trying to do something on your own and it's not going to work, man.
That's right.
You're trying to do something without the Lord and it's not going to work.
That's right.
How are you going to stop black on black crime without the Lord, man? It's not going to happen, man. How are you going to stop black on black crime without the truth? It's not going to happen. You know why? Because you're telling black men to hand in their knives, but then you're okay with drug dealing because you need to get your drugs. You need to smoke your weed, so you're okay with people selling drugs. Listen, man. In order to do the job that you're trying to do, you have to be squeaky clean, man.
That's right.
You have to be squeaky clean. You can't be okay in one thing and not okay in other things, man. You need to be squeaky clean. And this is why it fails most of the time, because most of the people trying to set up these organizations and lead black people are hypocrites, man.
That's right.
And they ain't got the answers. Read on.
Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. Hearken now unto my voice. I will give thee counsel.
And this is the thing, man. These people ain't getting counsel by nobody, man. They're wise in their own eyes. They think, yeah, let's just do this. And it's not that simple. They think, oh, let's just do that. Let's just open youth clubs. Let's open youth clubs. This will stop the problem. Like, black people are dying and people say we need to open the youth clubs back. That's the dumbest thing ever, man. Understand this, man. Did you know these youths get to an age where they don't want to be in youth clubs no more? Did you know? Did you know these youths become adults one day?
That's right.
These youths don't stay kids, man. So once they're old enough and come out of the youth club, then what? They got no skills whatsoever. The only skills they got is to play table tennis, man. That's the only skill they got, is to play table tennis and basketball, man. Because all you wanted them to do was stay in youth clubs. How does me playing table tennis stop me from stabbing a black man?
That's right.
How does me playing basketball stop me from selling drugs to a black man? The youth clubs ain't the answer, man. And people telling you, oh, the youth clubs need to open back. That's someone who ain't got a clue, man. Who ain't got a clue. And that ain't gonna fix black people. Read on.
I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to God. Be thou for the people to Godward, that thou mayest bring these causes unto God.
Go ahead.
And thou teach them ordinances and laws.
And this is what the people need, ordinances and laws, man. Now, thou shalt not kill. That's a law, man. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. That's a law, man. There shall be no daughters of the children of Israel. That's a law, man. What we need in the black community is laws, man.
That's right.
Not youth clubs, laws.
That's right.
I mean, we can have the youth club and laws, man.
That's right.
Like the laws will keep. I'm sure the laws will keep us alive longer than the youth club will, man.
That's right.
I'm sure the laws work better than the youth club does. I'm sure of it. I'm 100% sure that keeping God's laws works better than the youth club does. I'm pretty sure of it. You know why? Because we got the youth clubs and black people are still dying, man. So why don't we try it our way? We tried your way with the youth clubs, and what happened? Plenty of black people died, man.
That's right.
We was kids once, man. Youth clubs didn't teach us nothing about brotherhood. Playing tennis with someone doesn't mean you got brotherhood, man. Playing tennis with someone don't mean you've got brotherhood, man. Playing basketball with someone doesn't mean you've got brotherhood, man. Them things don't qualify for brotherhood, man. Because we play tennis together at the youth club. That don't make no sense, man. We play tennis together at the youth club. Read on.
God, and the work that they must do. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men.
First of all, that's a start, man. You need a leader, not leaders. You need a leader, and the leader would provide able men. The thing is this: these men trying to lead these trying to lead these communities and do all these community speeches, they're not able, man.
That's right.
Them men ain't able, man. Listen, man, I seen one of a black man trying to speak, man, and he was drunk, man. How you turned up to your own meeting drunk, man? So what, you couldn't wait till later on after the meeting to get drunk? How you turn up to the meeting drunk? You meant to come and deliver a speech on saving black people's lives, and you're drunk, staggering all over the place. You're not an able man. Who is gonna listen to you? Ain't nobody gonna listen to you, man.
That's right.
Because you're not an able man. People are looking at you like, oh, this nigga's drunk. No one ain't gonna listen to you, man. This is why you need able men. Able men who are disciplined, men who are willing to serve the Lord.
That's right.
Men who know what they're doing, man. Men who all are on one accord. Men who are sober. Men who ain't no respecter of persons, man. Read on.
Able men, such as fear the Most High, men of truth.
These is the men that you need. Men that fear the Most High. Men of truth. That's what you need, man. That's step number one. Men of truth. Because if you're a man of truth, what are you going to do? Teach everyone the truth, man. The only way these youth centers make sense is if you've got the I.S.U.P.K teaching in them, man. Other than that, these youth centers, it don't make no sense, man. Other than that, these youth clubs, it don't make no sense unless you've got the I.S.U.P.K teaching in them. If not, all we're going to do is play table tennis, man. Until we get sick of table tennis, and then what? Read on.
Come. Hating covetousness.
Listen, man, that's step number one, man. Hating covetousness. Moses' father-in-law told Moses to choose able men. Now, every man ain't able to lead,
right.
man. Every man ain't able to do the work that they're trying to do. Every man ain't able to lead a community. You got people talking about, oh yeah, let's do this, let's do this event, and get black people together. How much of these events have we been doing, man? As long as I've been alive, man, I've been seeing these events all the time. Every part these events is in, and guess what? Nothing changes, man.
That's right.
A week later, everyone's gone to do what they're doing. Why? Because these men that is in charge ain't able men. You can't just put anyone in charge of certain things. Read on.
Come. And place such over them to be rulers of thousands.
And what?
And place such over them to be rulers of thousands.
And you need men over them to be rulers of thousands. And this is why the I.S.U.P.K has this military structure.
That's right.
Because the men that come in here, they put down their knives, man. They put down their guns. They put down their weapons, man. They come and serve the Lord. They learn brotherhood. Now, obviously, sometimes brothers ain't gonna agree, but brothers come in here, and if they have a disagreement, guess what? Nobody kills one another, man.
That's right.
It goes to council how it's supposed to. It goes to council the way it's supposed to. Whereas out there, you kill each other over nothing, man. In here, we have councils, man. And the men who's above do what? Monitor these councils and be like, all right, then, we're going to examine both the evidence of what you're both bringing forth to the table. We're going to see who's right and who's wrong. And then whoever's wrong has to accept the wrong. Whoever's right accepts the right. And then guess what? The brothers then shake on it, man, and be like, all right, then, Salaki or whatever, and keep it moving. Outside of these doors, no one's got the answers, man. Outside of these doors, no one has counsels. When two brothers is in the wrong, what happens? People then egg one of them to go kill the other one, man. People then egg the other one on and say, yo, you're in the right, this and that. It's wrong for doing that. I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't accept that. Whereas in here, we don't egg brothers on, man. We go to a council and we sort the whole situation out. And this is why the men that you want to lead you, they ain't able men. They're not able to do the work that they're trying to carry out. But in here, these men in here are able men.
That's right.
So Moses has set rulers over thousands, meaning if there's a problem in Birmingham, you should come to the camp leader in Birmingham, man.
That's right.
There's a problem in California, you go to the camp leader in California, man.
That's right.
And that's how it works. We could straighten out this whole earth, but obviously, most people don't want the truth. People act like they want the answers. So you go to these marches, you go to these rallies, and you pretend you want the answers, but the truth is you don't really want the answers. Because when we give you the answers, which is plain and simple, nobody wants to accept that, man. Why? Because you don't want to examine yourself. Because by you accepting what we give you means what? You can't get high no more. You can't be a drunkard no more. You can't live the lifestyle you're living no more. Whereas you want leaders who tell you what you want to hear, man. That's what you want. Leaders who tell you what you want to hear. That's why there's always some scandal coming out with them. Every last one of them. Always scandals coming out. Read on.
Come. And rulers of thousands. and rulers of hundreds.
And rulers of thousands and rulers of hundreds. So what? This is a military structure. There's different ranks. There's brothers who's rulers of thousands. There's brothers who's rulers of hundreds, and so forth, man. There's brothers who's rulers of 50s. This is where our ranking structure comes from.
That's
the Bible.
right.
This is where it comes from, man. It comes from the Bible. Some brothers is rule. So now, if you're a captain of 10,000, you're a ruler of 10,000. You're officer of 5,000. You're a ruler of 5,000. You're officer of 500. You're a ruler of 500, and so forth. Read on.
Come. And rulers of 50s and rulers of 10s, and let them judge.
There you go. Meaning every man can't be the boss. Every man can't be the leader. Why? Because what happens when you've got leaders, plural, one will disagree with the other man. Whereas the structure is better when there's one man in charge and everybody follows that man's orders instead of 10 of you trying to be in charge, man. Listen, when Christ was on the scene, Christ was in charge, man. When Peter was on the scene, Peter was in charge.
That's right.
There wasn't no, oh yeah, we all rule together. There wasn't no, yeah, we all rule together and we just see who's right and wrong. Nah, man. When there's one man in charge, it moves away all the confusion. Go ahead.
So, okay, for me, I'd like people that want to be in charge. Just what's the word, man? Just arrogant bastards, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last week, I want to be in charge, man. Like, I don't want to be the one missing sleep at night time because I'm not sure if I give the brother the right counsel.
Right.
Like, I sleep good at night, man. Anything too hard for me, I go to my camp leader. He says do A, B, and C. I tell the person that I sleep good, man. Like a lot of people want to be leaders and they ain't capable, man. It's like that.
Exactly, man. Like, listen, man. Following, I'd rather just follow the orders, man. Imagine you have to be the man that the whole nation is under you, man. Listen, man. I'd rather follow orders, man, instead of everybody trying to be the leader. And the thing is, this everybody who wants to be the leader, they always mess up, man.
That's right.
Everybody who wants to be in charge, they ain't fit for the job, man. The Lord gives the man the job who don't really want it, man. Like Moses didn't want it. Moses was in Egypt saying, Lord, who am I? Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh? Moses didn't even want to do it, man. And the Lord gave Moses that position. Meanwhile, there was men that wanted to do it, and the Lord seen that they wasn't fit for that position, man.
That's right.
When men tried to lead along with Moses, what happened? The earth opened up and swallowed them up, man. Korah and his men. And these wasn't nobodies, these were sons of what? Chief priests.
Yeah.
These are sons of chief priests, man. And the earth swallowed them up. Why? Because they're trying to do a job that wasn't for them. The Lord said, everyone get under Moses. So following orders and being falling in line, man. People say, oh, how can you follow a man? How can you this? How can you that? Listen, man. Everybody followed Moses, and the ones who didn't follow Moses ended up dropping dead in the wilderness.
That's right.
So, you know, it's in the Bible, it's biblical. Read on.
God. And let them judge the people at all seasons.
And let them judge the people of all seasons. So now, first of all, you need a military structure, man. Like, imagine you go out, man. Imagine you go out and there's tons of people watching you and one man's commanding all the men. People look at you and be like, these lot have got order. These lot have got order and discipline. Now, how about some of these videos of, you know, these so-called leaders trying to go speak to the community, and guess what? All the men that are with them are shouting out in the background, man.
That's right.
All the men that are with them are undisciplined, doing their own thing. Whereas in here, there's order and discipline, man. If a brother which is ranked above you is speaking, man, you just hold post at the side.
That's right.
You don't be trying to speak at the same time. It shows that you ain't. It shows that you ain't following the military structure, man. The military structure is this man can handle it, man. You don't need to jump in. You just stand there and hold post to where everybody's looking at you, thinking, "Damn, how are these men so much in order?" That will make other men want to fall in the ranks. But when you're all there, you're all shouting out. It just looks like one big joke. One man's turning up drunk. It looks like one big joke. One man's high, your eyes all red. It's just one big joke. You expect people to listen to you. I mean, you're drunk all the time and you expect these kids to listen to you and put their knives down. It's not going to happen, man. Because you ain't the man for the job. They're looking at you and you're everything they don't want to be, man. You're everything that disgusts them. You're what they saw their father do, man. Be drunk all the time, man. You're doing the same thing they seen their father do. and now you think you must lead the community and everyone must come to your gatherings and listen. It don't work like that, man. Read on.
Come. And it shall be that every great matter shall bring unto thee, but the small matter.
Now, every great matter that shall bring unto thee, meaning, like in here, for instance, if a brother wanted counsel and we didn't know what counsel to give you, we would send you to a brother who's more experienced, man. We would send you to someone who's more experienced, who can deal with that, and so forth. But obviously, smaller matters that we could deal with, we'll handle it right here. There's military structure and rank and order in the Bible. And this is why all these community gatherings are failing. You know why? Because they've got no military structure. But for time's sake, we can drop that. Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 1.
What
1 Corinthians 6 and verse 1. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with following orders, man. It's easy. Imagine, man. Everybody wants to be in charge, and they're not equipped. There's some lunatics in Birmingham, man. I think they're gonna set up all this. We're gonna set up this organization to get knives off the street. Ain't one knife came off the street yet, man. Listening to them. They're the reasons why knives are on the street, man. What everyone needs to do is fall in line and get into the I.S.U.P.K.
That's right.
Because all these meetings is all in vain. We understand you want to do a good work. We understand you're trying, but it's not the right way, man. And the proof it's not the right way is you've been doing it for 400 to 500 years, man. Gathering your own youths, this and that. Listen, man, you ain't equipped to sort out the problem. Read on.
6 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
1 Corinthians 6 and 1. Dare any of you have a matter against another, go to law before the unjust.
And this is saying that any of you having a matter against another, meaning the matters that black people have, we ain't supposed to go to white people.
That's right.
Because they're the unjust. We're supposed to be able to deal with it in here, man. I ain't supposed to be phoning the police on the black man. I'm supposed to be able to be like, you know what? We're going to call for a council. And then justice will be served. Justice will be served. But obviously, you're going to the unjust. Women go to the unjust when they put black men on child support, man.
That's right.
Black men don't ever look at this black man and think, okay, maybe he can't afford it. Maybe he's in such a terrible position, he can't afford it. They go before the unjust. And what does this unjust devil say to this man that can't afford child support? Or if he's got rent to pay, they will take the money so he can't pay his rent, which means he's going to be a homeless man. A just man would say, you know what? If they came before us and we understood the brother couldn't pay, what we would do is check the brother's finances, see how much he makes, and be like, all right then, sis, have some compassion on this man that you want to pay some child support so much. Have compassion on this man that you opened your legs to. Once upon a time, one leg was on the east coast, the other leg was on the west coast. Now you're going to law before the unjust. We'll handle it in here. Okay, he makes this much. He can only pay this much, or he's going to lose his house. The white man don't do it like that, man. He does it like, oh, we don't care that he's got rent to pay. We don't care that he's got other children he needs to pay for. They just take everything, man, until he becomes homeless. Why? Because this man's the unjust, and neither of you are going to be happy in the end. Neither of you are going to be happy in the end with the result that you're going to get from this man, because he's the unjust. Paul said, dare any of you having a matter against another go to law before the unjust. You're supposed to come before the just. If there's any issues in the black community, you're supposed to come before the just. You're supposed to come before the I.S.U.P.K, and we'll call a council with you and the brother that robbed you, and we'll say, did you rob him? And if we see video evidence that he robbed him, guess what? He robbed your iPhone. He owes you 2 iPhones now.
That's right.
You don't need to stab him. You don't need to go get a hot car. It's that simple. He owes you 2 iPhones now. And don't worry, man. If you can't afford the 2 iPhones, we'll pick him up every day at 6 a.m. in the morning. He's going to be working until he can afford them iPhones, man.
That's right.
And that's in the law. He's going to be working to get that money back to pay you, which means what? You don't have to kill him. He don't have to kill you. It means what? He ain't going to rob you. You know why? Because he knows if I do rob a black man, I'm going to be paying back double. So let me just not rob him. That's the spirit of the law. You pay back double if you rob. So how about you don't rob in the first place? That's the spirit of the law, man. Don't rob. That way you don't have to pay back double. Now, we kill each other over mobile phones. Someone pulls out their knife and robs you for your phone. Whereas, you being here, man, we'll deal with things just. You robbed him, bang down the hammer. Okay, you pay. You owe him 2 iPhones. You owe him 2 iPhones and some compensation. That's it, man. No knives need to get drawn. Guess what will happen? This man will get his 2 iPhones, and you will get your punishment, but you won't go to jail for years. You won't go to jail to be sitting down cleaning a landing for £2 a week, man.
That's right.
You won't go to jail to be sitting in some cell for 23-hour bang up, man. Why? Because this man is unjust. We ain't supposed to go before the unjust. Read on.
And not before the saints.
And not what?
And not before the
Not
saints.
before the saints, man. The saints is the brothers in here, man, which can handle all problems. In the I.S.U.P.K, we can handle all issues, all problems. You ain't supposed to go before the unjust. You come before the saints, and true justice will be served. This brother beat you up. Okay, don't worry, that's fine. We're going to have him here, and we're going to ask him, all right then, we're going to find out why and what went on, and so forth. We're going to find out why and what went on. Nobody has to die, man. The problem can be solved without blood being shed. Read on.
Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world?
Do you what?
Not know that the saints shall judge the world.
Saints shall judge the world, man. We're going to judge the world, you know why? Because we're going to be ruling the earth. So these same black men that you're looking at as nothing, these same black men that you're looking at as garbage, these same black men is going to judge the world.
That's right.
Listen, this black man that is sitting at right here is going to have Chinese people sitting in front of me asking me for counsel, man.
That's right.
Chinese people is going to say, how do we not get the coronavirus, man? And I'm going to say, well, you know, we've only had a law in Leviticus the 11th chapter for thousands of years. I'm going to say we've only had a law for thousands of years, you know, that I'm sure you've seen multiple times. Just follow that and you won't get the coronavirus, man. Or people's going to have squabbles and we're going to sort it out, man. We're going to judge the world. We're going to decide who gets what. We're going to decide which countries get to eat, man. Which countries don't get to eat. We're going to decide which countries we want to give our Israelite government assistance to, man.
That's right.
We're going to have the rice. No. We're going to have the rice in that day, man. You see how the white man, when there's a tornado and hurricane in your country and it drives over and just drops rice from planes. We're going to decide if we're just going to drive straight over, fly straight over, man. Or if we're going to drop some rice. We're going to decide 144,000 that's going to rule this earth, man.
That's right.
We're going to decide who gets rice. We're going to decide who gets some chicken, who gets anything, man. We're going to decide. Why? Because the saints shall judge the world.
That's right.
These black men that you're looking at as nothing. Understand this. The councils that we're having here, this is a taste of things to come. The council you get in the I.S.U.P.K, this is a taste of things to come. Because it's going to be black men running the court system.
That's right.
Black men running the police force. Black men running everything. And we're going to be just. Unlike the oppressor that rules over us, man, who is unjust. We're going to be just in our service, man. Read on.
And if the world shall be judged by you.
And if the world shall be judged by you, this whole world is going to be judged by us, man. But you're sleeping on black men, man. You think we're good for nothing.
That's right.
Well, the Lord's seen that we're good enough to judge the world, man. Listen, you say we're good for nothing, but the Lord sees that we're good enough to judge the world, man. The Lord sees we're good enough to judge what should happen and what shouldn't happen, man. Just think about that before you put down a black man, man. That the Lord sees him fit to judge the world.
That's right.
The Lord sees him fit to judge this whole earth, man. Read on.
Come. And if the world shall be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters?
Meaning small matters, man. You don't need to go to the police. Someone does anything to you, you can come to us, man. Now, obviously, there's certain times you're going to have to go to the police because obviously we ain't got the certain things that obviously we can't do because before you know it, this devil's gonna arrest us and lock us up. But you come here first, man. Before you come to go to the police, you contact the I.S.U.P.K, man. Now, if a white man harms you, you go to the police, man. Get that devil locked up, man.
That's right.
If a devil harms you, you go to the police and get that man locked up. Now, if a brother does you wrong, you come to us, man. We'll advise you on what to do. But if it's a white man, you go to the police, man. You tell the police you're struggling to breathe and you can barely talk. And listen, man, you get a restraining order and everything. You get a restraining order, say you're threatened for your life and so forth, man. Tell them you're on witness protection, the whole lot, man. Tell them you're gonna move house, the whole lot. Because they do all that to us, man. But if it's a brother, you just come to us and we will advise you on the next steps to take. Read on.
Come, know ye not that we shall judge angels?
It says, know ye not that we shall judge angels, man. And when it says judge angels, it don't mean you're going to judge if the angels done right or wrong. That's some Christian nonsense. When it says we shall judge angels, it's talking about we're going to tell angels what to do, man. Meaning, meaning when we pray, we tell the angels to take them prayers to the Lord, man, and they do it. That's what it means when it says we shall judge angels, man. We tell them what to do, meaning we pray and the angel does what? Comes and takes these prayers to the Most High, man. Puts them in a censer and takes them to the Most High, man. And once the Most High gets enough prayers of us all praying for the same thing, then the Lord does what? Causes destruction on the earth. Then your prayers is answered, man. That's how it goes. If we all prayed to be out of captivity and all prayed for this oppressor to be removed out of his seat, it would have happened by now. But what we pray for is that the Lord forgives the oppressor, man. Imagine a sentence is being taken to the Lord, one saying, yo, destroy this devil, man, and the next one saying, please save him, forgive him. Once all of us get on one accord, man, and realize who this man is that needs to be removed out of his seat, then the Lord will remove him out of his seat. But some of us is praying that this man can be saved. This man kills our children, and what do we say? Oh, Lord, forgive him. No. What do we say? Lord, forgive him. Listen, man, the Lord don't want it. The Lord don't want them soft kind of prayers, man. Them soft kind of prayers, man, is ruining everything, man. Them weak Christian prayers is ruining it, man. The Lord wants to hear them rough prayers, man.
That's right.
Like in the Bible, man, men prayed that what? For destruction of our enemies, man. That's what they prayed for. Lord, deliver us from the hands of our enemies and destroy them in the process. That's the prayers that we need, man. But they've made our men become weak. So now this devil will beat you upside the head, beat you as lucky, this American term.
God,
I've been watching too much American classes, lucky. This devil will beat you up and so forth. And what do you pray for? Oh Lord, forgive him. Listen, a young black boy was killed the other day, man. Killed the other day. And what are people saying? Oh, it's not a racist attack. Forgive him. This is the thing. We've tried forgiving our oppressors, and guess what happens? The more we forgive them, the more they murder us, man. Like, usually a man who wants forgiveness would never murder again. Not these devils. You forgive them and they murder again. Like, they just can't help it, man.
That's right.
How about you pray for destruction, man? The only thing that's going to stop them killing us is us praying that the Lord remove them out of their seat, man.
That's right.
That's the only way. Because you trying to, it's like you going to a grizzly bear, man. It's like you going to a grizzly bear, man. This grizzly bear kills one of your children and you say, oh, don't worry, the grizzly bear, that was a one-off, it's not going to do it again. Listen, man, bears don't understand what the hell you're talking about, man.
That's right.
This man doesn't understand what you're talking about.
It's like, I mean, that's also in, I think, in Psalms as well, about the death of
This devil, man, damn. Same thing, man. This man don't hear. He don't hear your cries. He don't hear none of that.
God. How much more things that pertain to this life?
Says how much more things that pertain to this life, meaning right now we can judge your problems right now. We can judge Israel right now. We can decide who's right and wrong. But what people do is, oh, don't worry, that's talking about in the kingdom. Have you noticed everything in the Bible people say that's talking about in the kingdom? In the kingdom.
More than one wife.
More than one wife in the kingdom. This in the kingdom. Listen, man. Why do you have to wait for the kingdom, man? We can do it right now. Do you think people think one day you're gonna land in the kingdom and automatically everything you're just gonna know everything. No, man, you do it now. You start judging Israel now, man. So when you are in the kingdom, you can judge small matters, man. We're building the kingdom right now, man.
That's right.
We ain't gotta wait for the kingdom. The kingdom is within you, man. By us doing what we're doing, we building the kingdom. What verse you at?
Verse 5.
Go ahead.
I speak to your shame. Is it so that there is not a wise man among you? No, not one, that shall be able to judge between his brethren.
Meaning what? There's not a wise man among you that can judge between his brethren. So you have to go to the police. You have to go to our oppressor. You have to go to child support. You mean to say there's not a wise man among you that can judge between his brethren? Listen,
That's
man.
right.
The wise man is in the I.S.U.P.K, man.
That's right.
You want righteous judgment, you come to the I.S.U.P.K. I mean, I don't know how much times I have to tell you, but you know, this is where you need to be. Read on.
But brother goeth to law with brother, and that before the unbelievers.
Meaning you go before the unbelievers, man. How can you be... Now Paul was speaking to people in the school back then, meaning, how can you be in the truth and go before unbelievers for justice, man? It doesn't work that way, man. You can't go to unbelievers for justice. Now, if someone gets murdered or something, obviously then you're going to have to go to the police. That's different. Because obviously we ain't completely ruling this whole earth as of yet. But when we are, when you do call 999, just know the phone call's coming through to us, man. Just know that the phone call's coming through to us when you do go to 999 in that day. Go ahead.
Now therefore, there is utterly a fault among you, because you go to law one with another. Why do ye not rather take wrong?
Meaning, if sometimes we just, you know what, said, you know what, I'm gonna let it slide. A lot of problems with, like you know, now usually, if there's sometimes two brothers got a problem. Sometimes a brother does something. If you're, you know, you're wiser than him, and you know you're mentally stronger than him, and you see that he's, you know, not as strong as you, sometimes just let it slide. Just be like, all right, so lucky, brother. Like sometimes just let it slide, man. Sometimes diffuse a problem. Plenty of times you're gonna have to diffuse problems. Plenty of times, man, you just diffuse it and be like, all right, man, it's no sweat. Sometimes just do that, man. What verse is it?
Verse 8.
No, we can drop that for time's sake. Give me Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 15.
I'm going to Proverbs, man.
Lucky, Proverbs is my favorite book. So
Proverbs, sorry.
12 and verse 15. Proverbs, therefore my favorite book.
Proverbs 12 and 15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes.
What?
The way of a fool is right in his own eyes.
It says the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, meaning everybody running around stabbing one another is because their way is right in their own eyes, man. They think, okay, this man's looking at me wrong, let me stab him. You know how much people's died senselessly? Why? Because a man's believed is right in his own eyes. The thing is this, you don't have to believe you're right in your own eyes when you've got brothers that can give you counsel, man. You can say, yo, a brother was giving me an evil stare today. And we'll say, oh yeah, that's no sweat. Just say shalom next time you see him. Now, when you're wise in your own eyes, what do? What the F you looking at and pull your knife out and stab him? Over looks, man. Imagine, man, you two both left out your house, didn't know each other existed, and you've stabbed a man for looking at you. Listen, man, the Lord gave him his eyes for a reason, man. They're his eyes, man. Let him look where he wants. If someone looks at you, let them look. As long as they don't say anything, just leave them to it, man. But what do? Black man looks at us too hard. We then want to kill him. We ain't supposed to operate like that, man.
That's right.
A man who's wise in his own eyes, that's how he will operate, man. A man who's wise in his own eyes, he will kill his brother, man, over nothing. Whereas in here, we get counsel, man. You think we don't have problems? Of course we do, man. And what do? We get counsel, man. Listen, man. One time I was a young officer, man. I got some counsel from Captain Mashak, man. He said, don't go out of that house with the bat, man. So lucky. I had the baseball. Listen, I had the steel baseball. I remember Captain Mashak said, don't go out of the house with that bat. Listen, man. If I lean to my old understanding, I'd have went out the house with the bat. But read on.
But he that hearkeneth unto counsel,
But he that what?
hearkeneth unto counsel.
And I wanted to go lean to my own understanding, man. Sometimes people do stuff and you want to lean to your own understanding. You're a fool if you listen to your own, if you hearken to your own understanding. You're a fool if you listen to your own mind without getting counsel. Read that part again.
The way of a fool is right in his own eyes.
The way of a fool is right in his own eyes. Oh, I just had to stab him because he was looking at me. Also, you had to kill him for that. You're wise in your own eyes. And now you're going to jail. And nobody's going to remember you in 5 years. Nobody's going to remember you in 5 years, man. Now you're going to be sitting in jail thinking, I could have had a wife, I could have had children, I could have been in town seeing these women in their sundresses. So lucky. You could have been saying, I could have been in town seeing them in their sundresses. Guess what? You're sitting in jail, man.
That's right.
Because you lean to your own understanding and killed someone over foolishness. Read on.
But he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise.
But he that what?
Hearkeneth unto counsel is wise.
And counsel saves lives, man.
That's right.
Counsel saves lives. Now, at the time, when you get into counsel, sometimes in your mind saying, nah, man, that's not what I want to hear. Sometimes you get in counsel and in your mind, it's like, nah, that's not what I want to hear.
Yeah, that's right.
Sometimes you're like, nah, man, I don't want to hear this. But men wiser than yourself know better than you do, man. Understand this. The man you're getting counsel from knows better than you do. So you stick to that counsel. And listen, another thing that you don't want to do is phone a brother for counsel and disregard the whole counsel anyway. You know why? Because you just wasted his time and you just showed that you can't even follow orders. If you phone for counsel, make sure you follow the counsel, man. Don't phone for counseling because it's something that you don't want to hear. You be like, you know what, I'm just going to ignore that. Don't do that, man. You listen to the counsel. This is what you're doing here. You let brothers make the decision for you, man. That's what you do. That way you have no stress, man. You let brothers make the decision for you, so you don't make a terrible decision by leaning to your own understanding.
That's right.
Is there anyone on that?
No.
Give me Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 20. You don't want to lean to your own understanding, man.
Proverbs 19 and 20. Hear counsel and receive instruction.
It says what?
Hear counsel and receive
It
instruction.
says hear counsel and receive instruction. Listen to the counsel, man. Pretty simple. Read on.
That thou mayest be wise in the latter end.
That what?
Thou may be wise in the latter end.
Meaning you listen to the counsel, and then that thou mayest be wise in the latter end, meaning what? You ain't made the decision in the heat of the moment and ruined your life, man. You listen to the counsel, the latter end will be you not in jail, man. You not in a grave. You not in some horrible situation. Because you listen to the counsel. So your latter end, after you calm down, after you start being angry, would be good because you'll think back like, you know what? When I was angry, I was thinking to kill him, and then someone told me, yeah. Someone told me don't, it will blow over. And now it's blew over. Imagine if I killed him, I'd do 30 years in jail, man. That's why you listen to the counsel, and your latter end will be good, man. But if you don't listen to the counsel, guess what? There's gonna be a warrant out for your arrest. You're gonna be wanted by the police. You're gonna be thrown in jail. You're gonna lose your kids, your wife, everything you work for, probably your life, and so forth. So always follow the counsel. Read on.
There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord shall stand.
There are many what?
Devices in man's heart.
There's many devices in a man's heart, meaning in a man's mind. In a man's mind, your mind's telling you to do all sorts of things.
That's right.
Your mind tells you do this, do that. Your mind's telling you do all sorts of things. And if you listen to it, you're going to do the wrong thing, man. And that's why counsel is important. You ain't supposed to lean on your own understanding. Because you leaning on your own understanding will destroy you.
That's right.
Leaning on your own understanding leads to destruction, man. This is why I always follow the counsel. Give me Proverbs chapter 15, verse 22. Listen, man. If you've ever read the book of Proverbs, man, there's plenty of wise sayings in there, man. Plenty of wise sayings on counsel and everything. Proverbs is an excellent book, man. Give it a read whenever you can. Go ahead.
Proverbs 15:22. Without counsel, purposes are disappointed, but in the multitude of counselors they are established.
Meaning, without counsel, purposes are disappointed. Meaning, without counsel, plans fail, man.
That's right.
Your plans fail without counsel, man. Everything you try to do fails because you ain't received counsel, man. And that's just how it goes. And all these people that are trying to lead, they need to come into the I.S.U.P.K, man. They ain't received no counsel, whatever. They've leaned to their own understanding. And this is why everything fails. This is why all these Black Lives Matter marches come to nothing. This is why all these marches come to nothing. This is why all these black workshops and black people coming together comes to nothing. Why? Because they're not doing it the right way, man. There's no military structure. There's no laws. There's no thought of the law in it or nothing, man. So obviously it's not going to stand. Nothing's going to stand without the laws, man. Like, you mean to tell me it's something which has been plaguing the black community for years, and you can just get rid of it with youth clubs? It's not that simple, man. If the Lord tells you in the law, in the book of Deuteronomy, that brothers are going to hate each other, do you think to stop them from hating each other is a youth club?
That's right.
Listen, man, that's not going to work. The youth club ain't going to stop these brothers from hating each other, man.
That's right.
Give me Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 2.
Proverbs 28 and 2. For the transgression of a land, many are the princes thereof.
Read that again. For
the transgression of the land, many are the princes thereof.
Meaning it says, for the transgression of the land, many princes. So I can read that again.
For the transgression of the land, many are the princes thereof.
Meaning, there's so much transgression in this land. You know why? Because there's so much different people trying to be rulers, man. Everybody's not on one accord. There's so much princes in the land, meaning what? So much rulers, so much leaders who ain't on one accord. This is why there's so much transgression in the land, man. Why? Because they don't agree in one. You got one man that's saying, it's okay to smoke cigarettes. The next man saying it's not okay to smoke cigarettes, but you can smoke weed. The next man saying it's not okay to smoke, but it's okay to walk with your knife and this. Listen, man, there's too many people that don't agree in one. This is why there's so much transgression in the land, man. Too many people trying to rule, and they all pushing different agendas.
That's right.
They all teaching different things. Imagine one man's teaching this, one man's teaching this, one man's teaching this. People are going to follow which one they think is more beneficial to them, which means they're probably doing right in some areas and wrong in other areas. Whereas in the I.S.U.P.K, man, there's one way, man.
That's right.
There's one way. There's no, you can go to this man and get a different understanding. You can go to this man and get a different understanding. I can get a different understanding by him because I like him. You don't work like that, man. In here, there's no smoking drugs, man. Every brother in the school will tell you that. Whereas a man that wants to smoke drugs, what does he do? Finds a fake Israelite group that tells him he can smoke weed.
That's right.
That tells him it comes from the earth, so you can smoke it. Where does it say? Where does it say in the Bible that you can smoke it, man? It says that he gave you herb for meat, man. Meaning you meant to eat it, man, not smoke it. Where does it say in the Bible that you can light it up and smoke it? Where does it say that, man? It don't. But when you want to be a drug addict, you'll find a scripture in the Bible that you think means you can smoke drugs, man. When you want to be a homosexual, you'll find the scripture in the Bible and try and twist it, man. When you want to be anything disgusting, you'll find the scripture in the Bible and say, well, this means it can do this. This is why when people are fighting, when people are telling you something in the Bible, you need to look at them. You need to be able to read their spirit and be like, all right, why are they asking me this question? Why are they trying to fight for this scripture so much? Why do they want this scripture to mean this so much?
That's right.
Because a man that wants to smoke weed, he will read so much. He'll read the Bible to say this means it can smoke weed, and weed grew on Solomon's grave, and all of these stuff to tell you. Weed grew on here, and Solomon smoked weed, and all of this stuff, man. He will tell you everybody in the Bible smoked weed, so he can smoke weed. These times, no one in the Bible smoked weed, man. There wasn't drug addicts in the Bible. These men were sober men. These men was able men. That's why the Lord chose them, because they was able men. Whereas these men today that want certain positions that they can't have, the reason they can't get them positions is why? Because they're full of lust and giving into their flesh, man, and so forth. But I read on.
Turn. But by a man of understanding and knowledge, the state thereof shall be prolonged.
By what?
A man of understanding and knowledge, the state thereof shall be prolonged.
Listen, man. A man of understanding, and all these men trying to rule ain't men of understanding. You put your trust in Sadiq Khan, some heathen, man. He ain't a man of understanding.
That's right.
I'm sure they said knife crime has gone worse since he's been in office, man.
That's right. I know.
I'm sure they said it's gone up. They said knife crime's gone up since Sadiq Khan's been in office, which lets you know he ain't doing a damn thing, man. And the reason why it's gone up is because he don't care about black people. And why would he? Like, why would he care about black people? It's not his job to care about black people. It's our job to care about black people, man. All right, we're going to jump to verse 15. Proverbs 28 and 15. As a roaring lion and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the poor people. And the people ruling over us are wicked, man. Imagine they got all this money and they can't break off no money to the poor people, man. Our oppressors got all this money and they can't pay black people more than minimum wage, man. They got all this money and the sea is struggling in debt. And before they say, you know what, I'm going to write off some of this debt because I see you can't afford it. And I see you've had a hard time in life. And I see you want to pay it, but you just can't afford it. Let me just write it off. Let me just lower your payments. Not this devil. He sends the bailiffs, man.
That's right.
And then what happens when the bailiffs come? The bailiffs charge an extra like £500 for coming out, man. Which means you have to pay more money. What do they take? Your TV, your bed, everything, man. And this man is wicked that rules over us. This is why we need him removed from his seat. Now, if our black leaders understood the reason we're in this situation that we're in is because of the man who rules over us, man. The man who rules over us is a wicked ruler, a horrible ruler.
That's right.
And this is why black men kill each other, man. This is why black men hate each other. This is why black women and black men got beef going on with each other. Why? Because this wicked ruler plays us like puppets on the string, man. He plays us up against each other. He don't want to see us come together. They don't ever want us to come together, man. This is why they do what? To deter people from coming into the truth, what would this devil do? Oh yeah, them Israelites are a hate group, you know. Them Israelites are a hate group. Meanwhile, I don't see us enslaving nobody.
That's right.
I don't see us putting nobody on ships. I don't see us making people eat slave food. Listen, when have I ever took all the food and left the white man with just the cow tongue, man? When have I ever left him with the cow tongue or the oxtail, man? Or the chicken feet? When have I ever took all the meat and left him with just that? Never, man. And they say we're a hate group. The thing is this: the way the narrative that your enemies push, just remember it's not always true, man. Just look at how they stereotype every single black man. They push a narrative about us that ain't true. Oh, black men are harmful. Black men don't treat women good. Black men are horrible. Black women are this. Black women are that. And the narratives that they push about us, we listen to our oppressors so much that we start to run with them narratives, man. We start to believe, you know what, black men are no good. Black women are no good. That's what we start to believe, man. All of those things.
Oh, you're right.
So now I'm going to go to Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 14. So in the book of Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 14. And also any questions, just type them in and we'll get to them. So always be careful with the narrative that our oppressor pushes, man. Because he will have you hate black men, man. Like sometimes you have to Like even with the news reports, a black man gets killed, and what narrative does that person push? Oh, black thug, black gangster. So you start to read that, and then you become insensitive. You read it, and you be like, well, you know, he was a thug, so he deserved to die. He was a criminal, so he deserved to die, and so forth. That's what we do, man. We read it and start to think, you know what? Meanwhile, when they put Esau on the newspaper, what happens? The narrative is always college student turned to killer, university graduate. Whereas ours don't ever say what we do. Ours just says thug, killer. Even when you die, they put up the worst picture they could find of you, man. They put up a picture of you here, the worst picture they could find of you. Picture of you. So
This example right here. So
you got one. So yeah, they put up the worst picture they can find of you. We're going to show you one right now when it comes on the screen. We're going to show you the kind of pictures that they show of black men. See, look, there you go. I'm going to show you right now. This is a brother that got stabbed the other day by an Edomite man. And this is the picture that they show you. And then people in the comments are like, oh, well, it looks like a lovely chap. So you mean to say, because he's holding a knife, he deserves to get killed? That's what they push, man. Listen, man. How do they know? What's the... See, and look at the comment. It says, Cain fucking unstopped then, didn't he? If he robbed one of my kids, I'd have cut his fucking head off. See, this is Esau's something else, you know. See, and that's the pictures that they show you. So they show you that and make you believe, okay, he deserved to die. Whereas, what's wrong with holding a knife, man? Ain't no blood on it. He ain't stabbed no one. He ain't stabbed no one. How do you know he don't use that to cut up his sandwiches, man? How do you know? Now, if a white boy was holding that knife, you'd think, oh yeah, maybe he cuts his sandwiches up. But when a black man holds a knife, automatically you think, oh, he's gonna stab someone. How do you know? He ain't using it to cut his sandwiches, man. How do you know? Listen, man, sometimes yard men walk around with the cutlass to cut the grass, man. Now, a cutlass is twofold. A yard man can either chop you or chop the grass. It's twofold, man. When a yard man's got a cutlass. Now, police will show a picture of a yard man with a cutlass, knowing that this man cuts grass, man. Knowing this man cuts grass. And they'll spin the narrative like, yeah, he was walking around with a 12-inch machete. They call it a machete. 12-inch machete. They make it sound worse than it is, man. Be careful of this devil's propaganda, man, because the narrative that he pushed criminalizes all of us. So when you start to be desensitized to what you people go through, you start to go ahead.
How do they know not to pose him with a knife?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's called a Rambo knife for a reason. Rambo made it famous.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You wouldn't blame anybody. Blame Sylvester Stallone, man.
Exactly.
Okay. He made the Rambo. He made it famous.
Exactly. But now they put up that picture, the worst picture they could find, so they couldn't put up no better picture. They comb your Facebook for a bad picture, and then they use that woman. They change the whole narrative, and then that way people start to look at it like, well, he deserved to die because you know.
So what do you mean by he came unstuck?
It's lucky. I don't know what. I don't know what the hell that means.
Now we're just gonna figure out like unstuck. I'm gonna figure it.
I don't know what the hell that means. But it sounds like they're just saying he deserved to die. What did they say? He became unstuck.
I guess he came unstuck. It says.
What the hell that means?
Sulaki, is it?
Listen, we don't understand this devil's lingo, Sulaki. We don't understand our oppressor's lingo, man. Let me see. We might have to read the context and see if we can understand what the hell they're talking about.
Sounds like they said he came ill prepared.
Head each other an hour before. And you know, that was a lie. An hour before. That was a lie. You know why? Because he reported racism to the police about a week before. About a week before, and they done nothing about it. And then the police tried to say, don't worry, it's not a racist crime. It is because they called him a nigger before they killed him, man. They called him a black, this a nigger, and stabbed him, man. Says, came fucking unstuck. Well, what the hell that means? It's probably got a typo. I don't know what the hell that means, but so yeah, be careful of the narrative. Always understand Oppressor controls the news, he controls the media, and he's going to pull it his way. Whatever he feels like writing, that's what he's going to write. So you mean to tell me a 14-year-old boy doesn't deserve a second chance? And the thing is this, if this ain't he robbed someone, if he did, that still don't give you the right to kill him, man. Now, white people rob black people, man.
That's right.
And what do black people do? Pray and say, oh, I forgive them. Meanwhile, the white people just come and stab black people, man. That's the difference. We pray and say, oh, Lord, forgive them. This man didn't say he forgives them. This man took the law into his own hands, man. This man took the law into his own hands and killed the brother, man. Killed him. And you know what? Have you seen that thing they're making a new documentary? It's coming on TV about is this what's really going on in Britain?
Yeah. I posted. I don't know if you can see it on our page. I posted it.
You can see it on the I.S.U.P.K United Kingdom page. You know when it's coming on TV. I'm sure it was this week on it.
Tomorrow, I believe.
Tomorrow.
It's 10 tomorrow. Yeah, 10.
Yeah, it's coming on tomorrow. So tomorrow, obviously, you'll be able to watch it and you're going to see how England's still racist, man.
I'll play the commercial.
Yeah, you can play. We're going to play the commercial, actually. We're going to play the commercial for you. So you can, so you can watch it tomorrow. Because, some of you want to pray for everybody. Some of you want to pray for everybody and love everybody. So we're going to see if England's still racist.
Should that brother that went over the car? Right?
Yeah.
His face was fucked.
Is it him?
I think so. It's just
So listen, we're going to show you it right now. Well, some people say England's still not racist. All of this has happened between 2020? What has happened between 2020 and now? So we're going to play the video for you. Yeah, there it is. He's on the screen share.
Not right now.
Oh yeah. All right, we're going to screen share it. So now you can see it. So this is the when it's on, just give it a watch, man. Every black and Hispanic needs to watch this, especially if you're in the UK, man, so you can understand this is why we need to come together. Because when we're single, look, this is what they do to us.
It's been a long time coming, but I know the change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
My right leg was broken. I got cuts all over my left.
It is a recall from the moment a car was driven into him, deliberately so police.
I had a broken nose, broken cheekbone.
Run nigga. Okay, I'm going to be blunt and say what they were saying, okay?
You don't want my daughter being brutally beaten to the point where she was stabbed on.
Yeah, I feel like I see my mom's face in the hospital when she's looking at me and crying and all of that. That's when it kind of hit me pretty.
So what? You just arrested my daughter. She's been beaten by these people. Well, we're not going to tell you where they are because you'll probably invite your gang down and we don't want that.
Listen, man, and people say the UK is not racist. England is the most racist place on the face of the earth, man. Listen, I'm starting to think England's more racist than America. I think it is. Listen, England's way more racist than America. Like, England's a place where the oppressors are very brave, man. Like, they're very, not brave, they're bold. Like, when they're bold, imagine this is run nigga, run nigga. Listen, man, all these things, this is how they treat black people, man. Run nigga, run nigga. Then they ran that boy over for no reason. Why? Because he's got, I don't know if it's Hammer or brother, but get me, all I know is he's got black skin. That's it. I don't know if he's a brother or not, but then they beat up the woman's daughter. Why? And if you know anything about King's Standing is a racist area, man.
That's right.
Black people used to go there on the bus and used to have to duck. Why? Because them white boys would want to beat up black people, man. They was always attacking black people. From the 40s, the Polish used to attack black people. The Lithuanians used to attack black people. And guess who else used to attack black people? The Irish, who you love so much, man.
That's right.
All of these attack black people. And even on there in the back, they're saying, oh, change is going to come. Well, when is the change going to come? Because, it's been almost 100 years, man. It's been almost 100 years, and it ain't came yet. The only change that needs to come is we need to change from hating one another, man. We need to join each other.
That's right.
We need to gather together. That's the only change that needs to come. Don't wait for change from our oppressors, because it's not gonna happen, man. They're always gonna be racist, man. And allow them to be, let them be who they want to be, man. Now you think, because we work together and they're nice to me on the job. Listen, man, I was reading just the other day. There's a black sister that worked with white people, and she thought it was cool. And one day she was traveling. She was on the other side of the road, and she saw tons of white people calling them niggers, black bastards. And she saw the colleagues that she worked with calling them niggers and black bastards. And then when they seen her, they hid in the background. Listen, man, you work colleagues are KKK in their spare time, man.
That's right.
Understand this, man. The same way you go to work and get on with everybody, they also do the same thing, man. They hate you, man. But for the job's sake, they got on with you, man. At work, they get on with you, but they hate you guts, man. On their hour break, man, they're upstairs saying, I can't enjoy this job because there's niggas on the job. Then when they come back from the job, they say, hey, you want anything from the shop? Listen, man, they don't. It's all part of being professional, man. But obviously, they suck us in. Because they're being professional, we think, oh, they love us. And they care about us. When really they don't. But, sure. So I can say that. Oh, you can read it.
My sister said, same, I always thought the UK is either just as bad as the USA, or if not worse, because the racism is less overt.
Listen, I think England's worse than Slovakia. Then again, I don't live in America, but listen, the racism in England is next level. It's next level. Like in England, there's certain areas you can't go, man. Listen, you want to go for a night out in Liverpool, and white boys will push you in the docks, man.
That's right.
If you ain't in a group of black men, them oppressors will push you in the docks, man. Because you're black. Imagine that. You want to just go about your business, go work and home. And these devils is check. One time the EDR came to town and was running everybody down, man. The EDR was running black men down, man. Imagine black men, that hate other black men running from the EDR, man. Imagine if every black man came together, the EDR wouldn't be able to run us down, man.
That's right.
We would stand right where we want. Instead, we're sprinting, man. Them EDR, they're chasing you with the British flag, man. Listen, man. Just because our oppressor sees black men in the football team, they just want you to bring home the World Cup for them.
That's right.
And that's it. And guess what will happen? In 50 years, don't forget that a black man never played in the World Cup, man. They'll just show the white players, or they'll show the captain, who's always a white man with the trophy. They ain't gonna show you with nothing, man. They don't want you there, but they know you have the skills. That's all it is, man. What's starting on Sundays? Euros.
You think England's playing it?
Yeah, I think it's the Euro. Is it Euros?
Yeah.
Is it no? Not is it? Someone who watches football must know. It's not the World Cup. It's the next one. It's UEFA Cup. I don't know. Not UEFA Cup. Euro Champions. No, not Champions League. What is it? What's the European one? Only because this is just the European one. I can't remember what they call it.
God, speed on that.
Because they do it every 4 years. So like if someone online must know what it's called, I can't remember. It's not the World Cup. What's the next one called? Is it the Euro? Not Champions League. It is the. So like anyway, we move on. If anyone knows what it's called, just type it in.
England versus when is it?
Is that who it is?
Croatia.
No, the white man versus the white man. No. And who's going to win? Croatia always beat them, don't they?
What did you say?
It's some damn sure Croatia always beat them. But we're going to move on.
Euro 2000.
Yeah, that's what it is. The Euros, Slovakia. That's what it is. We're going to go to the book of John, chapter 18 and verse 37. So that program's on tomorrow. What channel is it on?
I'll see that here about.
Yeah.
Looks like a BBC 14 or something.
Captain Prussia will let you know tomorrow in class, whatever channel it's on. I think I don't even know. But all I know is give it a watch and you'll see how racist. Imagine that we're still making documentaries on how racist England is, man. Imagine. And they say we the hate group, man. When did we ever run someone over because of the color of their skin?
That's right.
When did we ever beat someone up because of the color of their skin?
It's like when is a documentary ever made about us being racist?
Exactly. When has there been a documentary about us being racist? When have white people said they fear for their life because we're attacking them? They never ever said that, man. Because we don't harm nobody. We're just trying to get through life, you know. We're just trying to get through life and whatnot, man. But then you got these oppressors harming us, posting pictures of us with knives, trying to make out with criminals when it's legal to buy a knife. I mean, sometimes you need sharp knives in the house, man. Sometimes you need, sometimes you have to gut the fish, man. You can't do that with no blunt knife. To gut fish, you need a sharp knife, man. But what would they do? Take the picture and lie and twist it when they don't even know.
Sometimes you can pose with a knife. You're a guy, you're a tough guy, you're a tough guy persona. You can pose with a knife.
Exactly.
Whatever you want to take a picture with, you can do that, man. There's people that white men take pictures, like white men go fishing, take a picture with the fish.
Exactly.
To me, that sounds wet, but that's what I want to do. If you're a tough guy, you want to pose with a gun or a knife, that's your prerogative, man. I don't see why it makes you a bad person.
Exactly. So they get that picture and then they make it, oh yeah, it's evil. Because if you look at this picture, almost looking for any excuse to prove why you should die, to prove why you should die. If you want to pose with whatever you want to pose with, that's fine, man. No, I don't mean the brothers causing anyone harm. All of that is speculation and lies, and that's the agenda they're trying to push. Because they're trying to get you to not cry for your brother, man. They don't want you to cry for your brother and so forth. So they want you to see, well, that only happens to black men that carry knives. That only happens to black men that do this. Not realizing there's tons of black men that thought these things only happen to a certain type of black people until it happens to them. I've seen working class black men get killed by the police, man. I've seen black men who play for England get killed by the police. That's what I've seen, man. I've seen black men who play for England get killed by the police, like Dalian Atkinson, man. Let's go to John chapter 18 and verse 37. The book of John chapter 8 and verse 37. Now this is why black people don't want righteous leaders. This is why. Pilate therefore said unto him, art thou a king then? Yahushua answered, thou sayest that I am a king, to this end was I born. Meaning Christ is saying, what? You're saying it, to this end was I born, meaning what? I was born for this moment, to die. The blacks and Hispanics says, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice. Now Christ says, everyone that is of the truth heareth his voice, man. Meaning you hear the words which is in this Bible, you don't just hear, you apply them also. Now, everybody outside here don't hear this voice, man. Why are we going to read on? Pilate saith unto him, what is truth? And when he had said this, he went out again unto the Jews and saith unto them, I find in him no fault at all. Now, black people outside this room, they don't want the I.S.U.P.K. You know why? Because they find in the I.S.U.P.K. no fault, and then that would light a light on their sinful lifestyle, man. So they need to do what? Be led by sinners. Because if they're led by righteous people, that would cause them to have to be righteous. Whereas they don't want to be righteous. So what do they have to do? Be led by sinners, man. So they can fit in. So they don't have to change their life. Whereas people out there see the I.S.U.P.K. as, oh, them men are so too perfect. They don't smoke weed. They don't do this. They don't do that. Now we understand, man. Brothers been smoking weed their whole life. Now, just come to class, man. And we'll help you get off drugs, man. Like, it's not one of them ones where you're going to come here and brothers are going to judge you, man. Listen, I don't care if you smoked a spliff 2 minutes before you get to class. You come to class, man. Brothers is going to help you to not smoke weed, man. You come to class, man, and we'll change you, man. We'll help you. We ain't here to be like, oh, we're holier than thou. This ain't the Christian church, man. We ain't going to sit in here like, oh, we holy and you're not. We in the business of fixing black people. We ain't going to look down on you. We're here to fix you, man.
That's right.
We're here to teach you and fix you. So listen, man. Yeah, we know you get high, man. How do I know, man? Because there's brothers in here now that used to be high in class, man. Used to be high in class when they was coming in first, man, as young men. And then now they don't smoke no more, man. Why? Because they came in and learned, man. Done the drug program. And now they're clean, man.
That's right.
Now, most people don't want the I.S.U.P.K. because it goes against their lifestyle. It goes against everything they stand for, man. Let me read on. It says, Pilate saith unto him, what is truth? And when he had said this, He went out again unto the Jews and saith unto them, I find in him no fault at all. They wanted Christ away with, man. Same like these so-called leaders want us away with. Why? Because they see, you know what? They can't get away with that sinful lifestyle, man. They know that our righteous life will shine a light on their wickedness, and they can't have that. So they want us out the way. As long as we here, they know every time they pick up a spliff, they've got us in the back of their mind, saying it's a sin to smoke. They don't want to see us in the back of their head, man. They want us gone. This is why these people didn't want Christ to rule over them. Because if Christ ruled over them, guess what would happen? No more weed would be coming into Jerusalem, man.
That's right.
No more drug dealers would be coming into Jerusalem. No more whores in see-through miniskirts, and now they got the next ones. The whole dress is see-through now. None of that would be coming into Jerusalem, man. If Christ is your king, women would have to dress modest. So in order for them not to dress modest, they can't have Christ be their king, man.
That's right.
In order for men not to sell drugs, they can't have Christ be their king. So what do they need? They need someone that's a sinner that's going to allow them to do whatever they want, man. Let's read on.
Yeah.
John chapter 18 and verse 39.
But ye have a custom that I should release unto you one at the Passover.
And there's a custom that will release one of the prisoners at the Passover, man. Go ahead.
Will ye therefore that I release unto you the King of the Jews?
So Pilate said, should I release the King of the Jews, a man who they found no fault in? Should I release him? Read on.
Then cried they all, saying, not this man.
He said what?
Not this man.
They pointed to Yahushua and said, don't release this man. Same like us. When we tell people, yo, let us come on your podcast and, speak some truth. Not you, man. When we say, yo, get us on BBC News, not you, man. They don't want us on their stuff, man. Why? Because it goes against their lifestyle, man. This is why instead of putting us on these interviews, you got fake gangsters on these interviews, man. Fake gangsters lying about their life on these interviews, man. When you could have us on these interviews spreading the truth, man. But instead, you'd rather have fake gangsters on there that don't live the life that they talk about. Because people would rather hear that. So I can read on before I get carried away. Read on.
Not this man, but Barabbas.
But what?
Barabbas.
They didn't want to release Christ, man. A man that was guiltless, man. A man that wasn't guilty. A man that didn't do nothing wrong. A man that broke no laws. A man that was perfect. A man that would have brought righteous leadership. A man that would have had the whole city in order, man. They said, not this man. Because if this man is released, we can't sell drugs, man. If this man is released, we can't commit adultery. If this man is released, we can't be homosexuals. So they said, let's release a criminal. Why? The reason they wanted the criminal released is why? Because they was all criminals, man. That's the reason why they wanted a criminal released. Because they was all criminals. Read on.
Now Barabbas was a robber.
Barabbas was a what?
A robber.
Oh, so they didn't want to release the innocent man, but they wanted to release the stick-up kid. Barabbas was a robber, man. Let's pick up this in actually, give me John chapter 3 and verse 19. We'll come back. We'll pick up that one in Matthew in a bit. So we're going to go to John chapter 3 and verse 19. This is why they didn't want Christ released, man. This is why they don't want the I.S.U.P.K on none of their platforms or nothing. It's pretty simple. The same thing Christ went through. It's the same thing we go through every day in the I.S.U.P.K. Go ahead.
John 3 and 19. And this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world.
That what?
Light is come into the world.
Christ was that light that came into the world, man. Meaning everything Christ was doing was right, and it went against what everybody else was doing, which was bad.
That's right.
Light is coming to the world. Meaning if you're all in darkness, nobody knows nothing. But if you all see a man who's righteous, it pricks your spirit like, I know I should be righteous like that man. And that's why they couldn't have Christ as king, man. Because they wanted unrighteous leadership and unrighteous rulership. That's why so many people leave the truth, man. Why? Because they want to smoke weed, they want to take drugs, they want to go to brothels, they want to go to strip clubs. Whereas with the I.S.U.P.K in the way, we shine a light on the evil that you do, man. And this is why they want us out of the way. Same way they wanted Christ out of the way. Read on.
And men love darkness.
And what?
Men love darkness.
Men love darkness, man. This is why they chose Barabbas, man. Why? Because they wanted a thief released. Men loved darkness. So they said, release the thief, man. Why? Because as long as you rule as a thief, that means you can be a homosexual, man. As long as you lead as a thief, that means you can be a rapist.
That's right.
And when your leader says, yo, you know you shouldn't be raping, all you would say is, but you're a thief. And it happens every time you sit with all your leaders. Your leaders tell one man you shouldn't be doing this, and then they come back and say, but you're such and such. This is why you can't be a hypocrite, man. Like, you want to be like Christ, where you can say stuff and there's nothing anyone can say back, man. There's nothing anyone can say back. No one should be able to say, but I seen you throwing money at the strip club. No one should be able to say, I seen you throwing ones at the strip club. No one should be able to say that, man. Like, imagine you say to a man, yo, you shouldn't be a homosexual, and the man turns around and says, well, you throw money on women in the strip club.
That's right.
You shouldn't be able to say that, man. And this is why people are unrighteous rulers. Why? So the unrighteous ruler knows, okay, I'm doing something wrong, so I can't condemn these people. I can't condemn these people. Why? Because I'm wrong and they're wrong and we're all in darkness. So let me just keep my mouth shut. So when light comes into the world, where there's nothing you can say against it, it pricks your spirit and lets you know what? I should be doing better. And that's why they wanted Christ removed out the way. Read on.
And men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil.
They love darkness what?
Rather than light, because their deeds were evil.
They love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil.
That's right.
Meaning they wanted to go to gay clubs. They wanted to go to the gay village. They got one in town. Damn. A whole gay village in town,
So, you're right. What the Bible says is true. Like, people don't want you to start drug dealers because they want drugs themselves.
Exactly.
Like, men don't like the light because they're wicked. They make it like, are you racist, or they make it like something else. But it all boils down to you just evil. You don't like us checking women. When we check women, you say, oh, you're chauvinist, you're misogynist, taking all that shit. But really, it boils down to you just love hoes. And God forbid we fix them girls and time to put a dress on. You don't want that. And that's what it boils down to.
Exactly. That's all it is. But they make out like it's some bigger picture, and they make out like we're in the wrong and we're horrible and we're mean. When really they just love darkness, man. And they know the more people that comes to the light, is more people who's gonna shine on their darkness, man. And they want to stay in darkness, and they want to keep everybody else in darkness. And this is why at campus always black people saying, don't listen to them, don't listen to them. The reason they're saying don't listen to them is because we're going to put their drug dealer out of business, man. But we're going to put them, they're the drug dealer, we're going to put them out of business. They want you to keep being their customers, but read on.
For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light.
There you go. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light. So everyone that hates the UPK hates the light, man.
That's right.
They hate righteousness.
That's right.
That's all it is. It don't get more. It don't get no more simpler than that.
Neither cometh to the light.
Neither what?
Cometh to the light.
This is why so much people don't want to come to the truth, man. Because they hate truth, and this is why they don't come to the light. Because if they did come to the light, guess what would happen? They'll be exposed for being a drug dealer, for being a criminal, for being a murderer, for being a rapist. They'll be exposed because of all of these things. Go ahead.
Lest his deeds should be reproved.
Lest his what?
Deeds should be reproved.
Lest his deeds should be reproved, man. It's that simple, man. Lest his deeds should be reproved. Because if he comes to the light, he's going to be corrected. But they don't want to be corrected, so they said free Barabbas and not Christ, man. Because Christ would have corrected them. Whereas Barabbas, because he's a thief, he can't correct no one, man. Because someone's going to say, but you're a thief. Meaning sinners love sinners, man.
That's right.
And that's how life goes. Sinners love sinners. Why? Because they're all evil together and they all feel comfortable around one another, man. That's why they don't want to be around us. Why? Because they're going to come to the light and their deeds will be reproved. Go ahead.
Come. But he that doeth truth cometh to the light.
And he that doeth truth cometh to the light, man. And this is the light in the I.S.U.P.K, man. But we're gonna jump back to give me Matthew chapter 27 verse 15. We're gonna go back to Christ on the cross.
Matthew
27 and 15. We're going to show you how black people was accused oppressor back then, man. So lucky James and Judah said the Euros, that's what it's called, the Euros. And you know what? A part of me was saying, you know what, damn, let's see if England can win the Euros, but then I remembered how England treat black people, man. England don't deserve to win nothing, man.
That's right.
Listen, man, almost got me an England shirt, man. And then I realized these white people don't see me as English, man. I realized these white people don't see me as English. No England shirt for me, so okay. I almost said, you know what? Let me get the England shirt. Why is it three white lines on our three lines on our shirt?
Yeah.
I almost sang 3 lines on our shirt, man. And then I realized the amount of black people that get killed by English people, man.
That's right.
I realized I can't put on that English shirt on my back, man. I said, you know what? Nah, too much black people die by the hands of our oppressors for me to support England in the Euros, man. So when they get knocked out like they do in every cup they're in, like they do in every Euros and every World Cup, when they get knocked out of it, man, I'm gonna have a drink, man. I'm gonna have a drink, man. I'm gonna be celebrating. People's gonna be like saying, you live in England, why are you supporting England? I'm gonna say, when did England support black people?
That's right.
I'm gonna say, when did England support Rashad Charles and Mark Douglas?
That's right.
I'm gonna say, when did England support them? Never. So I can't support England in the Euros, so lucky. But yeah, give me Matthew 27 and verse 15.
Matthew 27 and 15. Now at the feast, the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner whom they would.
Now this is we're picking up the same story of what we just read. Go ahead.
And they had then a notable prisoner.
Listen, man, they had a notable prisoner, man. This prisoner's like, what's his name? Charles Brunson.
Yeah.
This is a notable prisoner, man. Meaning this man's a thief, and listen, man, he's notable. Go ahead.
Called Barabbas. Then, when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, whom will ye that I release unto you, Barabbas, or Jesus, which is called Christ?
So this is the same story we just read. Go ahead.
For he knew that for envy they had delivered him.
And he knew even this devil knew, yo, they've delivered him because they hated him. Why? And he told you why they hated him, because these men were sinners and they loved darkness. So that's why they hated Christ, man. They was thinking we need to remove this man because he's so righteous and he's making us, it's pricking our spirit, man. I can't listen to him. Read on.
When he was set down on the judgment seat, his wife said unto him, saying, have thou nothing to do with that just man?
Listen, this man's wife had a dream, man, saying, yo, don't have nothing to do with that just man. That man's innocent. Listen, man, I wish before we went to court, these damn judges' wife would have a dream, man, and say release them, man. Time we have to go to court because these police want to harass us. This judge's wife needs to have a dream, man, and say leave them men alone. Read on.
For I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him.
This woman had nightmares, man. She had nightmares about Christ and saying, yo, this man is innocent. Don't do nothing to him. Go ahead.
But the chief priests and elders persuaded the multitude.
Listen, the chief priests were supposed to be the leaders, man. The chief priest means the top priest, man. They persuaded the priests and the elders, go ahead, and the multitude, that
they should ask Barabbas and destroy Yahushua.
They said, ask to free Barabbas, man, and destroy Yahushua, man. These men was near. These men do what Christians do today, man. They hate us. They want us off the corners. They phone policemen. They get multitudes to try and sign petitions to get us off the streets, man.
That's right.
Sign this petition if you're tired of hearing them damn Israelites when you go shopping. People say I go shopping for a calm experience, but I hear these Israelites shouting. They sign petitions, man. Same thing like that then. Read on.
The governor answered and said unto him, whether of the twain will ye that I should release unto you? They said, Barabbas. Listen,
man, this man's innocent, but they would rather release the robber. Imagine a man's innocent and you'd rather release the thief, which lets you know how evil our people was, man. Back then, same thing today. Go ahead.
Pilate saith unto them, what shall I do then with Yahushua, who is called Christ? They all say unto him, let him be crucified.
He said what?
let him be crucified.
They said, let him be crucified, man. Imagine they wanted to kill an innocent man just so they couldn't hear him speaking the words of the Lord, man. Read on.
And the governor said, why? What evil have he done?
Because the governor knew Christ didn't do nothing, man. So this man's trying to get an answer. What evil has he done? Why do you want to crucify him? What has he done? Go ahead.
But they cried out more, saying, let him be crucified. When Pilate saw that he could not prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made.
Meaning they made an agreement, man. The chief priest and the priest that was there and the multitude, they made an agreement that we're going to say we want Barabbas free. They went to the white man and was like, free Barabbas and kill this black man. And that's our people today, going to the white man for everything, man. We got to start going to him for stuff, man. They went to him to get their brother killed. Why couldn't they have said free both of them? Why couldn't they have said free both of them, man? But what did they say? They killed the innocent man. Read on.
He took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of the just person. See you to it.
So this man said, yo, I'm out. I'm not dealing with it. You just do what you want. I'm not getting involved. Why? Because he hearkened to his to the dream that his wife had. So he said, you lot see to it. Go ahead.
Then answered all the people and said, his blood be on us and on our children.
And they said his blood be on us and on our children, man. Meaning, yo, we don't care. Let his death be upon us. We don't care. Let this man die. Let his blood be upon us and our children. Let's pick up the same gospel in John, just the one verse in John chapter 19 and verse 15. Well, it is with the crucifixion story. Some gospels have it more in depth than others, so you have to flick back and forth every so often. So we're going to go to John chapter 19 verse 15, showing how they loved the white man back then like they do now. Not realizing the reason for all our problems, man. Imagine a black man came on the scene that was meant to be the answer to your problems. And what did you do? Got him crucified, man. Said, we don't want him. Kill him, kill him. Went to the same man that was oppressing you, the same man that came to free you from the oppressors. You said, kill him. And now you have to live under your oppressors, man. And the same thing is this. The same Romans that you went to get killed, Christ killed, it's the same Romans that ran you out of your homeland, man. The same ones that ran you out. Read that at John 19 verse 15.
John 19 and 15. But they cried out, away with him, away with him.
They cried out, away with him, crucify him, meaning they wanted him dead, man. For no reason. Go ahead.
Crucify him, Pilate saith unto them, shall I crucify your king?
So Pilate said, shall I crucify your king? Why? Because Christ was the king of the Jews. Meaning Christ was the ruler of all blacks and Hispanics.
That's right.
Read on.
The chief priest.
Now this is the chief priest. Listen to what the chief priest answered.
We have no king but Caesar.
We have what?
No king but Caesar.
And when black men try to save black people, what happens? They run to their daddy, the white man.
That's right.
We have no king but Caesar. They said they've got no king but our oppressor, man. Imagine we are here trying to fix black people, and they're telling us they'd rather be ruled over by white people. The very people that you want to rule over you is the very people we're trying to save you from, man. Hey, go ahead.
That's true, because the same police kill black people all the time. Exactly. But then when we call out the devil on the streets, you call them same police on us, man. So, okay.
Exactly. Imagine the same man that came to free you from these people that was harming you and killing you. You said, we have no king but Caesar. And guess what happened, man? Years after that, what did Caesar's people do? They ran you out of Jerusalem, man. Starved you in your houses till you started to eat your children and leather belts and stuff, man. Starved you out. The ones that didn't flee in time ended up getting killed in the city or dying of starvation. Maybe if we understood this man if we understood our oppressor was the reason for all our problems, we'd separate from him. Actually, drop it. Give me 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 1. They said we have no king but Caesar. It shows you, man, that black people have so far to go. How have we not learned from them never to trust our oppressor, man? How have we not learned? Imagine by now we should have learned, like, you know what? We've been relying on this man, and this man hates us, man. This man ain't fixed our situation. This man shoots us dead in the streets. This man does nothing for us. Maybe we should have learned by now, man.
Well, the brother sent me a link. If you got time, if you got time.
What is it?
It's about two sisters in London Park. We're friends with, and this never go.
The sisters.
Yeah.
What happened to them?
So, that's why we have to get through it by tomorrow because time is not now. Let know now.
James, Officer Crawford said it will cover that for you tomorrow. He said it will cover that for you tomorrow because we're finishing about 5 minutes, so he said it will cover it for you. But give me a 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 1.
2 Thessalonians 2 and 1. Now we beseech ye, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahushua, and by the gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind or be troubled.
Meaning, don't be shaken in mind or be troubled. Why? Because some things you're going to hear, you're going to be troubled, man. Some things is scary and you're going to be troubled. Go ahead.
Neither by spirit or word nor letter from us, that the day of Jesus, day of Christ is at hand.
It says that the day of Christ is at hand. Don't be shaken in mind or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as that the day of Christ is at hand. Go ahead.
Let no man,
because people tell you Christ is coming, but now it's going to let you know that what needs to happen before Christ returns. Read on.
Let no man deceive you.
So that's what it said, all that in the verse above. Now it's saying, let no man deceive you. Go ahead.
By any means, for that day shall not come.
Oh, Christ ain't going to come. Go ahead.
Except there come a falling away first.
Meaning a falling away first needs to happen. A falling away from what? Loving the white man. That's the falling away. Us falling away from loving our oppressors. Us falling away from loving his holidays.
That's right.
Us falling away from saying we have no king but Caesar. A falling away has to come first. Meaning we have to take a step back and see, well, this man is the devil. This man is the oppressor. A falling away has to come. We need to fall away from our oppressor, man. That's the falling away. Read on.
Falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed.
And we need to fall away so we can see who that man of sin is.
That's right.
That man of sin is the white man, our oppressor. That man of sin is our oppressor, man. That's who he is. Now, if you want to step change, who do you go see? The man of sin.
That's right.
If you want to be non-binary, who do you see? The man of sin.
That's right.
If you want to take drugs and sell drugs, who do you see? The man of sin.
That's right.
This oppressor that okays everything, he's the man of sin. Read on.
Come. Slakia. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all.
Who opposeth, this man opposes and exalts himself above all. This man exalts himself above all, man. He exalts himself above everybody, man. He makes that like his God in the earth, man. You want to do anything, you come to him. Anything you need, you have to go to him. Anything you want done, you have to ask his permission. He exalted himself above all. This man rules the whole earth. Every nation has to beg him, man.
That's right.
Every nation is afraid of this man. Read on.
That is called God. Or that is worshipped. So that he as God sitteth in the temple of God.
So that he that is God sitteth in the temple of God. This man thinks he's God, man. This man thinks that he is God. He thinks that he has the answers to everything. He thinks his way is the right way. Read on.
Showing himself that he is God. Remember ye not that when I was with you, I told you these things.
And he's saying, when I was with you, I told you these things. Read on.
And now ye know that, now ye know what withhold us, that he might be revealed in his time.
And this man's time's coming when he's going to be revealed, man. The time's coming. You see, you're watching Scooby-Doo, and at the end, they pull the thing off his head, and you see who the, what's it called was. You need to pull the thing off this man's head and see who he really is, man. The guy that you thought was the good guy is really the bad guy, man.
That's right.
The guy that you thought was the good guy is really the bad guy. Read on.
For the mystery of iniquity.
For the mystery of iniquity, man. Go ahead.
For the mystery of iniquity doth already work.
This man is the mystery of iniquity, man. This man, our oppressor, this man is the man of sin. Any sin that you can think of on earth, this man does it, man. and he promotes it and he teaches it and allows you to do it. Go ahead.
Only he who letteth will let until he be taken out of the way.
And in order for us to live happily ever after, this man has to be taken out of the way.
That's right.
Because this wicked man is ruling, and we follow him, and we say we have no king but Caesar. Until he's removed out of the way, we can't live happily ever after. Read on. Or until we fall away from him, shall I say? Go ahead.
And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
And the Lord's going to destroy this man when he returns, man. He's going to destroy this man when he returns. When it's talking about with the brightness of his coming, that's talking about with the destruction from them bombs and whatnot. You've ever seen the nuclear? The nuclear is bright as hell, man. Destroy him with the brightness of his coming, man. When they destroy him with nuclear fire. Read on.
Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan.
And this is why we call this man the devil and Satan, because his work is after Satan, man.
That's right.
This man's work is after Satan. Read on. Now, people always say to us, well, where does it say that this man's the devil in the Bible? It says it in Revelation, man, called the devil and Satan. That's what this man's called, the devil and Satan, man. Because his working is after the coming of Satan. Meaning, if Satan was on earth, which he is, the white man, but if he was on earth, he would do everything that Esau does, man. Read on. This ain't some antichrist, that one man antichrist that Christian church teaches you it is. This is our oppressor, man. Read on.
With all power and signs and lying wonders.
With all power and signs and lying wonders, man. This man comes with lies and he comes with signs. So much signs that you think, oh my God, this man must be of God. This man's going to the moon. Why wasn't it Jeff Bezos is going to the moon next month? He's going to space next month. He's going to space next month. Him and his brother. When they do go to space, Lord allow, hopefully there's some angels out there to meet them there, man. Hopefully there's some angels to meet them there, man. They won't be coming back if they're going to go there. Probably the angels is there. They're going to see black angels, man. They're lying to you, telling you, oh yeah, there's aliens and this and that. This man lies, man. Lies, and he does signs, and you see the signs and think, wow, this man must be of God. Look at this man's medical system. He must be of God. How can this man work out that? How can this man work out? Oh yeah, in an article it was saying that grass screams. It said grass screams when it dies. Listen, man. People saying, no, people are looking at like this man. How's this man's medical system so good and his science so good that grass screams as you cut it? Grass screams as you walk on it and cut it. That's what the white man will tell you, that the grass screams and this and that. All of this nonsense. But even with dinosaurs, they say dinosaurs have been extinct for thousands of years, but they can make out what noise dinosaurs made. Who told you they made a raw noise? Who told you that? This man lies and all of this nonsense. But with that, that brings us to the end of the class. We open the time. Captain Crush will be here tomorrow at 7 p.m. to 9.
Well, good clapping with your hands. And with that, we're going to give the teacher one courtesy salute. Melavisha, I Madam Shabbat, I Madam Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai Bakatah.
Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai Bakatah.